just so awesome.
Welcome, hola, what's good? Hey, y'all, hey, you are tuned in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. What's good, y'all? Happy Friday. Y'all, today is just a wonderful, wonderful day. I am super excited to be here in the studio. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. Hopefully, everyone out there is feeling that same way. If not, my prayers are with you. I hope things begin to turn around for your good. I hope that you just begin to walk right into what God has for you. Remember, just because you're going through a trying time does not mean that it is your end time. Let's get into this episode. Y'all, listen, as you know, here we are, season 5. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful episode. This episode is very sensitive. This episode dives right into our next tool, which I love to call a jewel as well, in the book. And that tool is the tool of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a very, very, very important tool. And in order to process all of these things, in order to get through those trying times, those hard times, in order to break through those solid grounds, those grounds that just keep us in this place feeling like we are stuck in bondage, feeling like we are stuck and trapped in our old ways, feeling like, we cannot move forward. It's going to take this special tool called forgiveness. A lot of times we like to look at forgiveness one-sided, right? We like to look at forgiveness as though it is one of those things that only help the other person that is involved, where forgiveness needs to be given, right? But have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, you are the one on the other side? You are the individual that is standing on the other side of self that needs to be forgiven. Sometimes we find ourselves in these sad places, these miserable places that has decided to trap us in an area where we can't move forward, all because the lack of forgiveness. It's so easy to recognize when forgiveness needs to be given to us, except when we are the ones who have to give forgiveness. And the funny thing about that is, a lot of times, if we're honest with ourselves, we even get lost in the times that we should be forgiving other people, right? It's a lot smoother to see when an individual owes us forgiveness versus seeing our own wrong or our own fault and recognizing that we should be the one to deliver forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a powerful, powerful tool that really releases people from those moments, really releases us from the inner critic of ourselves that keep us from getting to that place of purpose, from getting to that place of conquer, right? And so what I strongly encourage you to do by the end of this episode is to seek all of those areas in your life where you can begin to give yourself that due forgiveness. I know that, we went through some trying times in life. I know that we experienced some harsh things and we did some things that seems unforgivable. We have been in some waves and been in the mix of some things that seem like there's no coming back from that. We have said out of our mouths that these are areas or situations that I'm going to take to the grave with me. But listen, we serve a God that is greater than those things, a God that sees past all of those things. And if he can find fit to forgive us in our most yuckiest ways, in our most yuckiest trying times, if he can find way to see that we are better than that, then all I'm asking is that you take this tool and you begin to use it as he uses it. You begin to forgive yourself, free yourself from that place. The same way he requires us to forgive those who have hurt us, those who have wronged us, those who have came against us, and like over and over and over again, the same way he expects us to forgive those. Trust me when I say this, he expects us to forgive ourselves too. Don't be trapped and stuck where you are because the lack of forgiveness that you refuse to give yourself. Know that you are greater than that mistake. You are better than that mistake. That mistake was just a mistake. And although you may have been like me and made that mistake several times over and over again, it does not mean that you cannot be forgiven from it. Just that reaches right into my point where I'm saying he expects us to forgive others over and over. So we should also forgive ourselves over and over. God is so good that he desires to see us past all of those things. He desires us to reach that place of purpose that he has set aside for us. He desires us to come up out of that yuck, that dirt, that hidden place and be exposed into the purposed land that he has provided for us. He desires for us to prosper. He desires for us to get ourselves out of that place where only self is criticizing self. Other people have looked past that. Other people have grown past that. Nobody sees you for that person anymore. You have been forgiven by everyone else except yourself. Listen, the true key here to conquer that person, to conquer self in that area is forgiveness. You've been praying, you've tapped into your faith, you've tapped into consistency and discipline. So now that you've been on this groove, you've utilized all those other tools, but you're still sitting there wondering why your breakthrough has not arrived. The reason why you are still in that place is because lack of forgiveness. You have to utilize those other tools in their proper place and then add on forgiveness. Be free from that area. You don't have to dwell there. You deserve greater. Yes, I know that it feels tight. Yes, I understand that it is heavy. Yes, I understand that nobody knows the intent because you did this thing in the dark. You did this thing where nobody else could even see exactly what took place, but it's hunting you because you knew that it was wrong. But listen, forgiveness will break you free from that area. God knows all. He sees all. So although people didn't see exactly what it was, and you've been trying to cover it up year after year after year, God's seen it, and that's who matters. God's seen it, and that's what matters. And because he chose to forgive you, he's given you the okay to forgive yourself as well. Listen, come up out of that place. Come up out of that place. That place was not designed for you. That is a place where the enemy desires to keep you. That is a place where he desires to swallow you, take you out. That is the place where he desires you to walk miserably in life. But there is a better place for you. There is a place of liberty. There is a place where liberation is calling you. And that place is right past that first step of forgiveness. You may be thinking, well, I've tried. But listen, honey, you've been trying in the wrong way. Forgetting is not forgiven. Trying to forget what you did, trying to forget how you did what you did, trying to bury those things in the inside is not the key of forgiveness. In order to exercise this tool, in order to use this tool in a proper way, you have to use it correctly. The correct way to forgive is to take those things to God. Go into prayer. Go into prayer with your faith on high. When you get into that place of the throne room, as you're talking to the Father, lay these things out before him. Tell him that these things you want no more to do with. Repent from those things. Ask him in that place to help remove those things from the inside of you. Everything that has attached itself to those things. Ask him to remove those things. When you begin to feel that lightness inside of you, when you begin to feel like a weight has been lifted, you know know that true forgiveness is taking place, that is where you can begin to give God glory. That is where you can begin to give God praise, because that means that he is moving on your behalf. That means you have now exercised that tool in its proper manner. That means now you have accessed a place where it's going to lead you right into the place where he desires you to be. Listen, this book is a very, very powerful book. It is filled with tools to help you conquer those dark areas in life. If this is one of those areas, and yes, I'm sure that this is one, because forgiveness is one of the biggest things that we lack when it comes to trying to get into that place where God has called us. We have learned and gained the correct way and manner to forgive those around us, forgive those who have harmed us, those who have came up against us in ways that made us feel some type of way towards them. But where we have failed, where we have lacked in, was that place where we began to forgive ourselves. Listen, I encourage you with everything inside of me. I'm encouraging you with this boldness because I've been there and I've experienced it. I'm encouraging you from this place that I have grown from. I'm encouraging you from this place of truth that when you begin to tap into your forgiveness, the forgiveness that covers all of those things, all of those accidents that you once made, all of those things that have been keeping you in this place where nobody sees you, nobody hears you. You're afraid to launch forward because of you're thinking that all of these things are going to be exposed to people. Listen, when you begin to tap into that place of forgiveness in that area, you will conquer her. You will conquer him. You will conquer yourself. You will conquer over that person who is fearful. You will conquer over that person who lives in regret. You will conquer that little small part of you who feels like it's not big enough to be bold. It's not big enough to be powerful. It's not big enough to walk in the shoes that God has given that person. Listen, I'm encouraging you to move forward. And in order to move forward, you have to tap into forgiveness. Forgiveness is a beautiful, beautiful tool. It's a precious tool. And I want you to understand something. I want you to understand that after you tap into that place of forgiveness, after you use that tool and you begin to feel everything lighten up and you begin to feel your breakthrough, you begin to walk and go into this place that God has called you. I don't want you to take that tool and stuff it at the bottom of your bag. I don't want you to throw that tool away or hand that tool over. I desire for you to encourage others to go and tap into that tool themselves, to pull that tool out of their tool bag themselves. But what I want you to do mainly is I want you to clean that tool off and rest it back in a safe spot in your tool bag, because on this journey, you're never going to reach a place of perfection. You're never going to reach a place where you will never do another wrong thing. You're never going to reach a place where you're always 100% on top of everything. There's going to be things that are going to come up against you along the way that are going to make you feel like you can't go any further than where you have currently gotten to. But every time you come to that wall, every time you come to that place, every time that weight tries to attach itself to you, I want you to go into that safe spot. I want you to go into your tool bag where you placed forgiveness and pick that thing back up and take that issue back to God again. Take that issue into repentance. Take that issue back to a place where you're surrendering. Take that issue back to the Lord of all lords, right? Our God, our King above all kings, and let him know that, listen, I messed up again. Listen, I ain't got it all together yet. Listen, I still need a little bit of work. But with boldness, give him that thing so that you will not be trapped like you once were. Listen, guys, I don't want to talk too much about this because the book holds it all. And so, as I say in every episode that I drop one of these tools, This is a perfect session that you want to hold on to. So when you get your copy, you can come back to this audio and you can tune in and you can look at your book and you can listen with your headphones and you can highlight, circle, and get everything that you need so that you can run strong in this area and that you can help those that you are connected to. I am so glad that I was able to share with you a piece of this part of the book. I am so glad that I was able to give you something that I was given that helped me break through those dark areas. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you lots. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Until next time, guys, be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. I am so glad that I was able to drop that jewel. I hope that you guys were able to gain something from it. Something from it. Listen, if this is your first time tuning in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd, I welcome you. Welcome. I pray that you enjoyed what you heard. Listen, we have lots and lots of fun, inspirational content on our social media sites. So we desire for you to run over to Facebook and Instagram at CircleUp_AH. Like, love, share, subscribe, do whatever you feel free to, whatever you please. We would love for you to stay connected, get connected and stay connected so that we can always fill you up with encouragement. We love to, show our face from time to time so that you can put a face to the voice. And if you are one of those people who just enjoy watching videos, then we encourage you to run over to our YouTube page at Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. Until next time, guys, be blessed. Bye.